All right, cool.
All right.
Hi, people!
All right. So we are here to do the review of the games. Got our department over there because I'm not sure she could make it the 10 feet over.
I have really strong meds, and I'm gonna pass out again. I took 5 Coke, guys, to try to stay awake for 2 hours. And it didn't work completely. Hey, where'd the pretty music go?
Oh, I don't want singing to be underneath this. It gets a little...
Oh. It was pretty. Recap!
Recap. All right. Let's see. Our department. What do you think happened in Drakenheim?
They were in the rat's nest. And they tried to get the big piece of delirium. And Charlotte went down trying to grab it, but then she got back up because of no one, i.e. the player named No One, or as I'm calling him, Nick's Not Nothing. And then they tried to get out of there, and then Silent Night was like, nah, I'll get the delirium. She got it, and then they put it in the box, and then Tristan tried to run away, but then the supposed rat prince came and was like, I will take it back from you. And then he stole it, and then he ran away, and he runs really, 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 really fast. But nobody died. Oh, Dante went down, but then they got Dante back up. So nobody died, but they also didn't get their treasure. But they did return the girl who is down there to her brother, and he gave them money, which was good because Silent Night got contaminated, and I really wanted her to grow another tail, but she didn't. Did I miss anything?
I think it was the combat, and then they made their way back to Emberwood Village, where they made some connections with...
I don't remember that at all.
They made connections with the Hooded Lanterns, and
right, because her brother was in that group.
Yeah, Petrolang's brother.
They're twins.
Yep. And they began to put that together, and then we had to talk afterwards. Ultimately, and we might that night be switching to a different campaign because Drakenheim is rough, y'all.
Drakenheim is an acquired taste.
Yeah,
I personally hate it. I'm all for being the underdog, but I don't like insurmountable odds.
Yeah, you see insurmountable odds. So I would say the people who really love like 3.5, it's very 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons. It's very much that way. I would say like a lot of people who've played it go, wow, this is one of the few things that feel like Dungeons and Dragons, which isn't everybody's taste. And again, because no one thing is Dungeons and Dragons, so it's just what people grew up with.
I am not a fan of it, and I fully admit I'm not a fan of it because I don't like that.
Yeah, and the other thing it is too, and I think whenever we say it is cosmic horror, because I think cosmic horror, and that's one thing, but very precisely, it's the dark fantasy feel, and just not everyone likes dark fantasy. Dark fantasy is you never make a difference ultimately.
It's very
you are doing things that make life better as everything gets worse.
Yeah, it's like
dark fantasy. Yeah, that's what dark fantasy is, and so some people really love it because it's It's gritty. It's real. It feels real. It feels like a real world type of thing, but then other people don't. And so that's what I would say is like Drakenheim, along with when we play in Grim Hollow, all those things. It's this dark fantasy, and at the end, like like we did the one Grim Hollow campaign. At the end of the campaign, if you beat the guy, the vampires take over the region without anyone to oppose them.
Yeah.
If you don't beat the guy, this evil guy takes over everything and no one can oppose him.
Go.
And all you're really doing is kind of choosing what Overlord is going to be up for it, right? And and again, I think it's required taste. Some people love it. And also the other thing I've learned too, by the way, is a lot of these things like Drakenheim, that anything that has a horror or darkness to it, sometimes certain time slots and portions of our week are better for it than others. So I do think it kind of just sort of depends. Like I have my Monday that loves it, but it's also like everybody's days off. Like the whole group, it's kind of like, and they're there ready just to sit, and the attitude is approached differently. It's not at the end of a work day. And so sometimes I don't know if that has something to do with it. And that's the other dark fantasy one we ran, is like Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, where I think people are just sort of like, cool, it's the weekend, whatever. And maybe they can deal with that type of story a little better. So it could be a little bit of taste.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different things in Temple games. Anyway, all that to say, it looks like we're looking at something else, and we're looking into the group, which we may not. I think it's just the whole discussion of the group.
Oh yeah, it's a spoiler. We will figure it out. We'll be back.
Yeah,
with it.
Who knows? It might just post, and we'll be at a different game is played. But yeah, so that's going on there.
Fine.
Yeah, and then we had our Old Gods, which you can say what happened to Old Gods.
We went spoiler. What spoiler? Because they might, Jackie, because they might change games, and I don't want to say they're going to change to a certain game and then be wrong. So I'm not going to give any spoiler on which games they are talking about maybe doing on Friday night.
Yeah, looks like they might go from Drakenheim to a different game.
Yes. Old Gods, we met Granny. Granny's kick-ass. And Basil was right. Granny is the one who helped during the Civil War to make sure that people were getting back safely. But again, Granny doesn't know why people are disappearing, because apparently they were supposed to have a warden, and it was supposed to be Ivy's dad, but Ivy's dad disappeared, so now we don't have a warden, so people are disappearing. So we don't know where they're disappearing yet, and we need to go back and talk to the mailman. But we are right now out of our town and into new trouble because there's a guy going around killing couples, and we're in the skin of them until they rot. And Ruby and Charlie keep accidentally acting like a couple. So we were like, oh great, we're gonna die by this dude. And so Granny told us, oh, there's this tree that's out in the forest, and if you climb it, it's got like this bone crown with crystals in it, and it'll help you see something that happened in a specific place at a specific time. And we were like, cool. And she was like, but it's really dangerous to go get it because this dude's out, like, stealing people's flesh. And of course, we all went, we want to go get the bone crown, except for Charlie, who just went, you all want to get the bone crown. And we were like, yes, we do. So we decided to go out, and we had to find a rock that looked like a man hanging. We had to touch the rock and be like, I want to explore my hatred. And then they would show us the tree. But as we're going, we ran into Tom, who was like talking about taking people's skins. And so like Ivy stabbed him, and then Ruby shook his bones and did more damage. And then he started then Charlie was all like, well, I'll stun him so he doesn't get a chance. And then so Charlie started playing some really pretty harmonica music, and Tom was all like, oh, this reminds me of so-and-so, and she was so nice to wear her skin. And mind you, Basil doesn't understand magic, so Basil went up and touched the rock already and had been like, yeah, I want to, explore my hatred. And so he started talking about wearing someone's skin, and Basil got all pissed and went and kicked him. Because Basil has has an artificial leg, and it is iron, so when she kicks, it's extra damage. And then he got really annoyed and was all like, I'll be finding you. You look nice to wear, to Basil. So we made a new enemy. And then the game ended. And yes. And Ruby was just happy that someone else wanted to like wear Basil's skin instead of try to eat her. And that's what happened. And I'm rethinking touching the stone, but it's too late. I already did it.
Very nice.
That's all I got. I got a big old vampire.
Yeah, and that is where we're going. So and we'll see what happens next. We actually had a lot of fun in that.
was so much
Fun part of the game was a large conversation with Granny and a few
I
antics that were
love
very in character. And so we're
Granny's
talking about how
badass.
the player group likes to kind of play out the everyday life in the midst of the horror.
Yeah.
And then kind of go into this very tense situation. So it's a lot of fun.
It's very much like we all have our own coping mechanisms. And Basil's is to distract herself by like pointing attention at Charlie and Ruby. Ruby distracts herself by messing with Charlie. Charlie distracts himself by like trying not to think about what we're going to go do and like playing music or something. And Ivy tries to distract herself by thinking of all the horrors of her childhood. And it just all comes out as very awkward people living together being like, it's fine. We're going to go meet a dude in the forest who wears people's skin. It's fine.
Absolutely.
It's not fine, guys.
Yeah. All right. Other than that, we've got we had an opening Saturday. It is filled.
Yep.
We still have some openings coming up for the Kindle Obscure game. We at least need one more to play if we want to explore that. We've got 3 players currently. Definitely need at least 4 for that particular game. I'm gonna have up to 6. So if you're interested, hop on in. And Monday would still love another player.
What games don't we have this week because of Thanksgiving coming up?
That'll just be Thursday.
No Thursday.
Thursday.
No Thursday.
Nope, Thursday. Come in. I'm going to be eating and such, but everything else.
We might play some Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, is set to go. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff. And there's still 1 spot left in House Wormcatcher for Gen Con. And if you're interested in going to that, just remember things get crazy come around January, February is when like the big rush on houses are. So just be thinking what you want to do there.
I'm gonna pass out. I don't know if I get any.
That's about it. This was a shorter one, so we're just gonna do it, log off, and
guys, I should be back to myself by Monday.
Yep.
Madison
work its way through Paula and come on very good. So thank you all, and we will catch you in the next game. Good night.
Night, everybody.
He came to town